Hi everyone, hope you all. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Vechain once again. Thank you for your continued support. I really do appreciate everything you do to contribute towards the growth of CoinsKid here. Sharing is caring. I really, honestly, thank you for helping the channel grow into what it is. And I really appreciate all the warm comments and the nice feedback that you give to the channel as well. So it's all good. It's all golden, okay? I hope you have a really good weekend. I hope that the markets continue to stay fruitful throughout the weekend as well, because Sunday can be a bit of a dumpy day. And sometimes the weekend, as you roll into the Saturday and the Sunday, it gets a little bit dumpy. So hopefully we can continue to march on and break these highs for Vechain and crack on with this bull run and you know, just keep making progress and get up to that wave 5 Elliott wave theory right there, you know, because we have got a price prediction off this particular pattern. We did give you this yesterday, okay? This is effectively a bull pennant. If it breaks out here, fantastic. But if it doesn't, I just want to reassure you, it's not the end of the world. And if it does start to reject and roll back off a key level of resistance, it will still be painting a beautiful pattern, okay, which is a bull pennant. And obviously, you know, when the time comes to break out, which it could break out now, but when the time does come to break out, you've got a lovely little breakout there of around, you know, 40 cents. Look at that, beautiful. And if you break down towards the apex, you know, you're still pushing up there towards 39, 40 cents. So it's all good. It's golden. It's golden, you know, it is really golden for Vechain for continuation. But obviously I'm always going to show you where the resistance is and the key levels of support which you need to hold, and right now you're painting a lovely pattern for Vechain. So what I'm going to do is jump onto the 4 hourly time frame right now for Vechain. So right now for Vechain, you can see it's absolutely bolted up, hasn't it? It's done really well off that bottom since down here when it made that higher low. Okay, that's fantastic. It's got through the bullish cross there, created it, back to support, boom, marching on. Absolutely melted through this. Well, it didn't actually melt because you've come up. I'll be honest with you, it didn't actually melt. It actually had a test, come back to the EMA, found support before melting through it. And that's good, because if it had melted through it without that original test, then you would be a little bit, well, okay, I've not really had a couple of goes at it and fell back to support to have another go at it. So this is good, effectively. This is actually a good thing that it's hit its head, come back support, and then see you later, alligator. I'm going to go and test the 0786, get out of my way. And it's actually come up, and you can see it's wicking up above it. That's not a nice thing to see. I'll be honest with you, it's not a nice thing to see, that wick there. It means that when it got to that level, there was a lot of selling pressure there. You know, traders took profits, they shorted the market or whatever to bring the price back down. Whales manipulation, basically, because they know, the whales, they've got these fibs. This is why you see all this. This is why you see these levels here, hit resistance and support. Fibonacci, you know, it's fantastic. Do apply it to your charts, because you can see the in and outs, basically. So I think I said to you effectively from this point here, you know, put a little long in, and obviously you're going to go up against resistance, and that's beautiful, and you've seen that, and that's great. So right now, what you can see, and I'll always be truthful with you, always tell you what I see, okay? I'm never going to feed you no spiel. I'm never going to feed you no bullshit. So right now, the more Vechain continues to hit its head like that, just like XRP did yesterday, the more it's going to give up. And that, you know, even a blind man can see that. Hit its head, see you later, give up. I'm going to go back down and just get some rest, or basically refuel the rocket ships off the EMAs, right? And you could see it did do that. It fell through, found support, come up, made a high, fell back down again. Because this is what happens. If it gives up, it just creates the more selling pressure. People, you know, it gives up, effectively. So yeah, you've had 1, 2 goes it on the 4 hourly. If we jump to the hourly, you can get more of a story right there. So you can see effectively on the hourly time frame there what you've got going on. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 goes at it right now where you've wicked down, so that there's an enormous amount of selling pressure as you approach that particular level. So you do need the bulls to step in and continue to push you through. Otherwise it will give up, and you will roll, and you will potentially come back down to one of these Fibonacci retracement levels right here. If you can continue to adhere to this, because this is what's happening, is it's getting rejected here, and it's getting rejected, like it's coming back down to this 20 on the hourly time frame there. You can see it's getting a little bit extended, okay? So that it needs to be, because it's got to try and push through it. But I would imagine if you do get through it, you want to get through it and look for the back test of support, probably consolidate for a little bit, allow this hourly EMA to creep back up, then it will start to push you back up to the high. Do you see that? Because otherwise you're going to get too overextended, and what I said to you about overextended, when you come back down, you fall through the EMAs, okay? You fall through the EMAs and you lose them as support. So what you've got going on right now is very similar to this sort of situation. I will show you, always show you everything I see. Look at how many goes you had at this particular level of resistance right here, the 0618. So you had multiple goes at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, before it gave up, and the EMAs were creeping up as well. Do you see that? Creeping up, back testing support, 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 support. You know, it gave up and it decided to roll. And at that point it rolled and it lost key levels of support. You actually hovered on the 050 before rolling even deeper and having a bit of a correction down here just below the 0382. So that particular correction, when it gave up, was effectively an 18% sell-off, 17% sell-off right there for Vechain. So if you were sort of give up here, if you've seen it hitting its head and it was to give up, then do anticipate you could actually see a nice little short opportunity down there of around about 17% for Vechain, bringing you back down to sort of this 050. But it would not be a bad thing if it did do that, because you're still making high lows. Do you see this? And that's all good for continuation. So if you was to see it get rejected and come back down and sort of bounce on that, you're still making these high lows, you're still making these sort of high highs, you're still reversing, you are in an uptrend, eventually creeping you up. And because this is what happens, is it continues to hold support and support's creeping up, it forces you out and sees you break out of these situations that you've got yourself in for Vechain. So effectively, I'm not saying it's going to break this overnight or break this high and move on. I'm just saying, please be aware there is a little short opportunity here for Vechain, because if it does continue to hit its head, go short down to the 050, and that in itself is a lovely little trade right there. That in itself could eventually be a nice little trade down there of around 15% little short trade on Vechain. But it doesn't mean it's going to crash or go to zero or anything like that. It just means it's going to roll back to get more momentum to come back up and have another go at it. Failing that, you could absolutely see it melt out here and just blast off into space. But the fact is, you're getting rejected quite consistently. And look at the selling pressure. Look at the candles on the hourly time frame. Look at the selling pressure that comes in to keep the price down and suppress it. But obviously, as this creeps up, this EMA, just like it did over here, look at this, it creeps up, creeps up, creeps up. As this creeps up and you're adhering to it, it will force you into some kind of move, okay, whether you go up or down. So that's why I'm saying keep an eye on that short opportunity down to the 050. If it breaks this and starts to backtest the support, wow, you could be looking at a new all-time high for Vechain over the weekend, you know, pushing up towards another 13% appreciation right there for Vechain. So it's all good. It's golden. I'm not going to lie to you. It does look good. You're making a nice little recovery. You got the double bottom just here, okay? And hopefully we don't get back down and lose this key level of support, and we have that larger correction back down to that C wave, because that would be a massive correction. You've got a lovely double bottom here, continuation. So it's good. It's looking golden. I'm not going to lie to you. So anyone that's involved in Vechain and holding it, hold tight, sit pretty, because it's looking relatively strong. But like I said to you, if it continues to hit its head, you know, you only have to look at what it's done before. If you move to the left, you can see what happens if it continually hits its head on resistance. You know, you've got resistance, 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 give up, resistance, resistance, give up, resistance, resistance, give up. And that's effectively what happens when you test these key levels of resistance. And this is the most important key level of resistance right now for Vechain, because if you get through that, obviously you're going to approach that high. You have got a couple of levels of resistance in front of you, which I will drop in just in case you do start to see it march on. You could actually see it like reject at those particular levels as well. So you've got one there, you've got another one there of keen interest as well. So these two particular levels right here of keen interest, when it does break that 0786 retracement Fibonacci there. So what I'll do, I'll drop this in as well. So if you start to see Vechain close above 24,622,523 on the hourly, because it's our hourly time frame as well, because I've zoomed in so you can see a little bit more of what's going on. So if you do start to see it close above that and back test the support, then do expect these levels of resistance as well. And again, you sell resistance and you buy support, because it might not just go overnight. Okay, because it might come up to this particular level of resistance, which is historical resistance right there, and come back down to test support. So in itself, that's a 7% little short opportunity right there. Do you see that? So effectively, so if you get through this right now, if you get through this and start to do this, and it starts to creep up, you could be looking at a lovely little long from that position, confirmation. You could be looking at a nice 7% long trade right there. Take profit, because right there you will hit that resistance, and you'll start to come back to retest support. And if you do, that's a 7% short opportunity right there. So it's still all in and out. You know, it's not rocket science. You see these things, and just like here, okay, just like here, this is what I say to you about you know, selling resistance, because for those of you that were in a long right there and you've melted through this, okay, you can see come back down and you've actually melted through it. You knew you were going to run into resistance there, so right there you set a short. boom, down to this particular level of support. Boom, little 9% short opportunity out there. Take profit. Boom, see you later. In and out trading. So that's basically Vechain. Wish everybody luck, and hopefully you break this high, because if you don't, you're going to roll and you're going to be at least looking at sort of a little correction down there, because you can see it's happening in these waveforms. Okay, look at the waveforms. It's going up like that, down, up, down. This has got a little bit of extended, so if it does come down, you're looking at that sort of price prediction right there, a 0.20 drop for Vechain, but in the whole of it, you're still making high lows and high highs, so it's all golden for continuation, basically. Continuation, because we have got that lovely price prediction up there, 0.40, which is 40 cents, which is also the bull pennant extension there off the flagpole, so that's great. That's a little bit of confluence. Take care, everybody. Have a really good day, and I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll be back tomorrow with another update. Bye bye.